guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Praesidus A11 Type 44. So this watch was loaned to me by the Praesidus official website. Unfortunately, I don't get to keep the watch. It's got to go back or go on to the next reviewer. But as always, you are going to get my full and honest review of this watch. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'm going to be leaving a link down in the video description. That is to the official Praesidus website, and that's where you can pick it up, and that's the only place you can pick it up. The current retail price for this watch is $595 US, and that's on this bond clip bracelet that you see here, or $545 US on one of their supplied straps. And that's before any sales, taxes, or coupons that you may come across. The watch is available in two different colorways and two different sizes, as you can see here. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has an acrylic crystal, a push-pull crown, a screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, and it's powered by a Swiss Soprod P024 manual wound only movement, customized specifically for this watch. So that's pretty cool. So this is the second Praesidus watch on the channel, and they're kind of known for taking US military designed watches and bringing them into the modern world. So this A11 Type 44, it's been assembled in the United States with modern components, but still giving off those awesome vintage vibes. And I think it's great. The watch costs nearly $600, and that is not an insignificant, and that price will be like an instant pass for a lot of people. But these watches do sell out very quickly. So there's obviously a market for them. This obviously isn't for everyone, but there is a market for this, and the people that are willing to, pay for these watches, they're out there. And it's pretty obvious. Almost always these watches sell out pretty quickly. So, and this one in particular, I think sold out very quickly. And the fact that they offer this in both 38 and 32 millimeter sizes is really cool. So I say, with all that said, let's get into this full review. But before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing my Sagesse GMT. Absolutely love this watch. Going to be taking this one on a trip very soon. And let's get to the dimensions. The diameter is 38 millimeters, 13.5 millimeters thick, 20 millimeter lug width, and link to end link is 45.1 millimeters. And on the bond clip bracelet, weighs about 79 grams. So I think the size on this thing is just perfect. That 38 millimeter field watch is my personal sweet spot. I absolutely love it. But if you want something a little bit even more vintage feeling, that 32 millimeter one is great. It's about the same thickness. I believe it has 18 millimeter lug width, but yeah, it's 32 millimeters. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's really cool that you can get a watch in that size, a modern watch in that size, and it really just elevates the vintage feel to this watch. But as it is, this 38 millimeter one, sorry about all the fingerprints here. But this 38 millimeter one is excellent. I love the way that it wears. Nice thin mid case, a little bit of turn down to the lugs as well. A lot of that height is right in this acrylic crystal. But I like the way this thing wears. It's super lightweight, super comfortable. And yeah, I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist. Again, this is the 38 millimeter version. And I think it just looks great. Really nice thin mid case there, as I mentioned. Decent turn down to the lugs as well. It's just super lightweight, and on this bond clip bracelet, it's just super comfortable. It's really funky looking, but this bracelet is awesome. Really happy with it. And here we are in some direct sunlight, and as you can see there, no issues reading this thing. It's very legible. The acrylic crystal does a good job of cutting down on reflections, and then you get some light play off of the that coin edge bezel there, as well as the bracelet. It just looks so cool. Really enjoy the way this thing looks and wears. It's super comfortable. All right, let's go throw this on some straps and we'll get back to the review. And here we are on a kind of a distressed brown leather strap. Again, came in the box, and it looks awesome. I absolutely love this strap. It's super comfortable, and I think it looks really good on this watch. What do you guys think of that one? And here we are on a green canvas strap. This is one that came in the box. This is for the bigger wrists. You can see here, I'm in the middle-ish on this one, and this thing is going to fit like an 8.5 inch wrist or even bigger than that. So it's a very long strap. It seems to be pretty comfortable, well made, and we'll talk about it just a little bit later, but that's one of the options for you. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, here we are on a green Perlon strap that I think looks pretty good on this thing, very lightweight. And there's one layer underneath the watch there, still sitting really nice and comfortable, very lightweight, and yeah, looks really good. And lastly, here we are on a CNS watch band ribbed nylon strap. There's 2 layers underneath the watch there, and it still sits very nicely on the wrist. And I think it looks really good. Yeah, pretty happy with this thing, and obviously it's a black dial field watch, and it's going to look good on pretty much anything you throw it at. So, yeah, I like it a lot. All right, let's go inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. So case finishing is really simply done. It's all polished, as you can see here. It's going to pick up scratches. I mean, this is a review piece, so it's been worn, it's been abused, it's been all over the world. And, when I got this thing, it was flopping around inside the box. So definitely it's picking up a lot of scratches. And that's just kind of what you have to live with a polished case. I think it looks pretty cool, though. Again, you got a nice thin mid case here. Real nice polishing from what I can see, though. Very happy with that. You do have drilled lugs there. And then, you get this flat spot up against the case here inside the lug opening. Pretty cool look to it. And you also have a nice coin edge design on the bezel there. I think it looks really, really cool. And it's done really nice. It was very subtle, but I think it looks really cool. Nice big crown here, unsigned. There's no branding on this watch at all, except on the case back here, which you can see. It's a screw down case back, and it has your Praesidus Type A11 with a couple little specs around the outside, assembled in the USA. It's a really cool looking case. I'm very happy with it. It seems to be done nicely as well. I didn't take time to polish the case up or anything like that, but from what I can see, I'm pretty happy with the polishing on it. I think it looks really good. The side profile is really cool, where you got the coin edge on the bottom and the top. Really, really a cool look. And yeah, overall, I am very happy with it. All right, so let's talk about the crystal on this thing. So the crystal is acrylic, so it is actually plastic. It's not glass at all, and that is either love it or hate it. They did it because the originals were acrylic. They could have put a sapphire crystal on this thing, and everyone would have been happy with it. But there are definitely some advantages to an acrylic crystal. The first one is all these scratches that you can see on there. So the scratches are going to happen pretty easily, but you can polish these out very simply. If you have some polywatch, take a couple minutes, just polish it out, and it'll be just like new. These things are pretty shatter resistant, so if you knock it on something, it's not going to crack where a sapphire crystal would. And then the clarity. So the clarity of an acrylic crystal is already above that of a sapphire crystal, but then they actually coated this with anti-reflective coating on the underside of the crystal, and you can see that there. It's a blue anti-reflective coating. I think it looks really good. It keeps the dial nice and legible. I mean, you get some awesome distortion on this crystal. It is super high, as you can see right there. I mean, there's just a really cool side profile of it. I think they made the right choice. I love an acrylic crystal. I would 100% take acrylic over a mineral crystal. I go back and forth on whether I like a sapphire crystal or a acrylic crystal in a watch like this. I think I'm leaning towards acrylic just because it's more, period correct. And yeah, these crystals are great. I love an acrylic crystal, and all the scratches, they don't really bother me. I know they do for some people, so you can just take care of them. So no big deal. All right, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. So dial is really nicely done. It is a matte black dial, as you can see here. Everything you see in white is lumed. It looks excellent. It looks really, really good. You have your 10, 20, 30 minute, markers around the outside, and then you have your hour markings on the inside. So really easy to tell the time on this thing. Super legible, just a matte black against a stark white. The hands on these things are a really cool kind of leaf hand set, and they're fully lumed. They just look awesome. They look really good, and they just pop against that background. You're never gonna have an issue reading the time on this thing. The second hand is pretty interesting in the fact that it doesn't have a counterbalance. This is, I think, the first watch I've come across like that, and it's a pretty cool touch. I like it. I do kind of wish they would have loomed that one as well, just for fun, but no big deal that they didn't. You can see on the tip of it right there, it does curve down towards the dial. I believe the minute hand also has a little bit of a curve. Just a little touch kind of adds to it. And I think it's awesome. So the lume on this it's unspecified. They don't say what kind of lume they're using on this thing. It is a nice pure white on this model. They do have that faux patina lume as well, but it glows green and it glows pretty good. I'm going to pop up a lume shot here, and you can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. Definitely against the Hamilton, which is I think a pretty big competitor to this one. The Hamilton is a little bit better, and that watch isn't particularly great. I would give this watch a solid like 4 or 5 out of 10 as far as the lume goes. You can see it against the San Martin on the right, which I just kind of threw in there because it's a field watch and because the lume on that thing is excellent. So that just goes to show you how this lume compares to something with really, really good lume. So the lume isn't great. It's a nice even application. I think it is appearing a little bit worse on video than it is in person, but yeah, it's just not great, but also not really poor either. All right, so let's talk about the movement on this thing. So the movement, like I mentioned earlier, is a Swiss-made Soprod P024 manual wound movement. So I had the Swiss-made P024 in a previous Praesidus watch, and that was an automatic one. So they don't really sell a manual wound movement. So what they did is, Praesidus contacted Soprod. Soprod made this movement and customized it specifically for this watch and specifically for Praesidus. So that's kind of cool that you're only really going to get this movement inside this watch. With that being said, it is an Etaclone movement, just like a PT5000 or an ST2130 or even a Sellita SW200. It's just with the automatic mechanism removed. So it is 28,800 beats per hour, roughly 40 hours of power reserve. It hacks, it hand winds. And yeah, I mean, it should be a reliable movement. I see no reason why it wouldn't be. And the fact that they did remove that rotor, it's pretty cool. It's really nice and smooth hand winding. So this first position here, it is your winding here. It's a nice kind of, you can say a stiff wind. So it kind of has that heavy feel like you're used to from the Etaclone movements. Then you pop it out and it goes into hacking. I don't feel a ghost date. It's weird. It's when I pull this out, there's kind of a double click, but I can't get it to stick to that first click. I've tried multiple times. I just cannot, even if I'm being super gentle with it, it just pops right out to the hacking position. So I think they kind of removed the date function of the ETA 2824. And so this is I would consider this a no ghost date position, even though there is kind of like a double click there. I just can't get it to seat into that first click. So yeah, I am pretty happy with that. And here is how the watch is running. I honestly haven't tested this watch, so this is how it's running. I'll let you make your decisions on how well it's running. I haven't noticed it run, fast or slow or anything like that. But yeah, that's how this one's running. So overall, I have no issues with the movement as of yet. This Soprod brand is something that I've only come across in these Praesidus watches. And anything I've read about them, they're fine. They have, the same issues that an ETA 2824 would have. So you can kind of expect that maybe on these watches, but I don't know. I've never had a real issue with these things, but I also haven't had these long term. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. All right, so let's talk about the straps. So these are a couple of the straps that you can get as an option for the $545 price. So this is the green canvas strap that you can get, and it's nice. It's a dark green, kind of army green canvas with army green stitching. Got one floating keeper, one stationary keeper. Really nice buckle here. I like this buckle. I'm not really sure why I like it so much. It's really cool. Definitely something different, fully polished to match the case. It's not flopping around or anything like that. It's nice and solid. It's not signed or anything like that, but it's nice and smooth, and I think it just looks really cool. The strap itself, it's got some leather on the bottom side. You do have quick release spring bars on these things, so that's nice to see as well. And right out of the box, it's forming nicely to the wrist, and I've only worn it on this strap once, and so far so good. It seemed comfortable, and yeah, again, it conformed nicely to the wrist right away. So no issues with that one. Nice solid stitching here as well on the hole. So this thing should last really a long time. My only complaint with it is the length of it. It's pretty long. I believe I was somewhere in between these two holes here. This one was a little bit too tight. This one was a little too loose. So you can definitely see that this is going to fit, probably up to an 8.5 inch, maybe even a 9-inch wrist, but it won't go much smaller than, I'd say 7, maybe 6 3/4 inch. So just something to keep in mind. And then the brown leather strap. This is dark brown leather is what it's listed as. Really cool, distressed dark brown, really nice and soft. It smells good. It feels good. One floating keeper, one stationary. Again, same buckle here. And that buckle is awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it on this watch. It goes really good with the case, I think. And yeah, I mean, this is a really nice strap. You can see here, it's got the Praesidus branding on one side, genuine leather on the other. Again, quick release. And again, this one was extremely comfortable right out of the box, and I think it's awesome. If they sold this strap separately, I would buy it 100%. I think it looks good. I think it feels good. Yeah, it's a great strap. And now we will talk about the bone clip. And I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. It was a really interesting strap. I wasn't sure what strap they were going to send it on. When he told me he was sending me this watch, this strap version was sold out. So I wasn't expecting it, but thankfully he did send it, and it is awesome. It is so cool. I'm not really sure why I like it so much. It is very jangly, as you can see here, very flexible, but it's so comfortable. It is so comfortable and so unique. It just looks awesome. It does have quick release spring bars here, and again, you do have those drilled lugs there. So, but yeah, it's kind of one of those infinitely adjustable straps. So you can get it super small. You can get it nice and big. So you get this clip that kind of slips through this last link here. You can set it to whatever size you want. And then you just kind of press this end into one of these openings. And, you know, I've been squeezing the little button releases here, and it just kind of holds on there. And it's very secure. It hasn't ever come undone on me. You know, you can pull it pretty hard and it's not going anywhere. It does have the Praesidus branding on it. This thing is awesome. I think for, you know, the extra $50, I believe it is, it's totally worth it. This strap is awesome. If you can find them online somewhere else, let me know, because I kind of want to get one. I mean, this thing is so cool. Really, really happy with this thing. Again, it's not supposed to be a premium or, you know, premium feeling bracelet. It's got a ton of flex. It's got a ton of jangle. The tolerances are really loose, and that just kind of makes it super comfortable. You can just see these things flexing back and forth. It's a really cool bracelet. I like it a lot, and I think it fits the aesthetic of this thing. Yeah, it's a great bracelet. So there you go, guys. That is the Praesidus A11 Type 44, available in two different sizes, 38 and 32 millimeters. A really cool kind of vintage looking watch, keeping that acrylic crystal, keeping the manual wind only, throwing it on some really, really cool strap options. Yeah, I think you're going to be really happy with this watch. If you like this style of watch, you're looking for something like that. I mean, you can get an A11 Type 44, an original one, for not a whole lot of money. And, you know, this is just an option to kind of bring it into the modern era, modern movement. You do have anti-reflective coating on the crystal, you know, a solid stainless steel case with good water resistance. Yeah, I think it's a very compelling option, and obviously others do too. These things sell out pretty quickly. So if you are interested in this, I wouldn't really hesitate too much. Go down to the link in the video description and pick one of these up for yourself. Really a cool watch, and again, I thank Praesidus for sending me this review piece. These things are so cool. Really, really cool. Very happy with them as well. And I think you guys will be too. So I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.